Welcome in to a Dog Talk Live with Rusty Mansell Tuesday night. Man, we got a lot to talk about tonight. I want to let everybody get in here, get going. We got all kind of stuff to talk about tonight. Schedule release just came out a few minutes ago, and Georgia Bulldogs play Alabama. But want to say tonight, again, want to give a shout out to our presenting sponsor, Hotel Indigo in Athens. I was there last week doing a walkthrough, guys. I can't say it enough. Just come by. I went and sat on the patio. We will be there Friday night. Jake Rowe and I will be there Friday night. We're going to do a show that is not going to be broadcast. It's going to be private for you guys that are there. We're going to have a few beverages with you guys and probably tell some stories. So we're going to break down the game. And but we'll be there at Hotel Indigo on Friday night. I went by, did the walkthrough. Man, unbelievable club downstairs. Had no idea. Private bar and all that. We'll talk more about Hotel Indigo, but guys, I don't have to sell you on that. Go by Hotel Indigo in Athens one time. I promise you. Walk in that place one time and look at that bar right there. Everything they had, all the rooms. The patio area is unbelievable. Wedding season, everything. I don't have to sell you on it. Go by there. It is freaking awesome, man. And glad that Hotel Indigo in Athens is a part of us, and we'll talk more about them in a minute. All right, guys, question of the night. We're not going to do a story. I'm going to bring in a special guest in just a second. Not going to do a story. As we talk about this SEC release, talk about which game you're most excited to go to and what kind of upset. Let me know where you're from. Hit me a couple comments there. What's your early thoughts on the schedule release? I can't do this without bringing in the co-owner of DawgsHQ with me tonight, Jake Rowe. Jake, I want to bring you in and have you in, my guy here. Jake, the schedule's out. Give me your quick early thoughts. Let me give you this. So 2026, Georgia at home will have Auburn, Missouri, Vandy, Oklahoma. They will play Florida in Mercedes-Benz. I think people forgot about that. Jake, they're at South Carolina. They're at Arkansas, at Ole Miss again, and damn it, they go to Alabama again. Give me your quick thoughts on that, man.
Well, I mean, all right, so this is kind of – I don't know. I might be a victim of my own expectations here because I thought it was a given that they were just going to roll the 6 teams that Georgia didn't play this year in the SEC onto the schedule, and then bam, we'd be ready to roll, right? Yeah. Didn't do it. You got Ole Miss, Alabama stay on the schedule, which is tell you what, they sure didn't roll off any of the challenge. The one challenging team that they rolled off, or the one, team that kind of came off from the past 2 years is Texas in that regard. But, I don't know. I don't love the idea of having to play Alabama 3 times in Tuscaloosa over the course of 7 years and 1 time in Athens. That's just a little wacky to me.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like that Oklahoma's coming to Athens. I mean, they're going to put Texas A&M off again. One more year, I guess, to make that happen. I don't know. I'm sure there's some scheduling stuff, Rusty, I don't understand. I'm sure there's some stuff out there. There were some challenges with an odd number of SEC games. But I will say this, one of the things that stands out to me now, unless I'm wrong on this, and I don't think I am,
okay,
past few years, or for a while now, Georgia has gotten 4 SEC home games a year and then 3 SEC home games a year because of that Florida game being a neutral site. One of the benefits of this coming on is now Georgia will get 4 SEC home games every single year. But now other teams that don't play neutral site games, which is everybody else in the league except for Oklahoma and Texas, some of those get 5 one year, 4 the next year. So, you're still missing out on 1, but at least you get 4 every year now.
You get 4, so that's another easy plug for Hotel Indigo. Again, next year, Auburn, Missouri, Vandy, Oklahoma, and Florida in Atlanta. Interesting here, man. Interesting here. 2027, Georgia. Holy smokes. 2027, Jake. You and I both, we're gonna have a budget meeting on travel. Georgia's at Tampa for the cocktail party. I still call it a cocktail party. They're gonna play Florida in Tampa. They're at Auburn. They're at Texas. They're at Texas A&M, and then they're at Kentucky. Holy smokes, man. As a Georgia fan, that's going to divvy into your pockets and what games you go to and all those things. And then, you got
that's 4 games I'd like to fly to.
Yeah. I mean, somebody's going to have to do something. But
Skyballs.
I mean, we're covering the team, man. So, but my goodness, that is 2027. The home games will be SEC home games will be South Carolina, LSU, Tennessee, and Mississippi State. So it's interesting, man, how crazy that is with that schedule.
And for the folks who don't know, I want to point this out. That 2026 schedule just flip-flops home and away games come 2028.
Yeah.
And then the 2027 game flip-flop home and away games come 2029. So I don't want anybody to look at this and think, oh, my God, there's no return trip scheduled for these games. There's a return trip scheduled for every one of these away games.
Yeah, whatever you see in 26, just flip it. So Georgia will be look, everybody loves the Vandy trip. So 2028 will be Vandy. It's interesting. Georgia finally goes to A&M in 2027, which is, my God, I don't know where that's how didn't happen next year. I have no idea, but it is, man. It's real interesting how all that played out. I'll say this. I have concerns, and I'm going to be an SEC homer, and I don't care if you're watching this channel. I am an SEC homer. So I have concerns about the depth. But doing this 9-game schedule, to me, it's calling everybody's bluff on this playoff committee. And the strength of schedule with nine SEC games, it better work, because somebody said here they're going to beat the hell out of each other, and they are. I don't care who it is. I don't care where you're from. You go to Mississippi State, if you play Arkansas, if you play Georgia, I don't care who it is. You play somebody in this league. It's a physical football game, and they're going to add one, but they're doing it, and they're rolling the dice on their hopes of this 9-game SEC schedule working out the best for those teams. But Jake, anything else before we get off here? What's quick thoughts schedule wise? What's parting shot there you got?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad to see Missouri coming back on the schedule. I think that's going to be fun. And I've Georgia's 11-1. Against Missouri since they joined the league, and there's been some real tight games, some good games, some memorable games in that rivalry there. Mostly ones at Missouri, and then Arkansas is back on the schedule for the first time since 2020. Georgia gets to go play over there. Something that I feel like since I've been covering the team, they've only played at Arkansas one time since I've been strictly team coverage. I remember Gentry and those guys going back and covering Arkansas way back in the day. They're in that 2014 season. But yeah, so that one's been pretty infrequent. So getting the Hogs back on the schedule, I just hope our man Sam Pittman is still coaching there whenever they get there. So that would be fun to see that happen.
Been out there a couple times. Easy flight from Atlanta to Fayetteville. Was kind of shocked. That was like an hour 10. Easy flight out there. Cool little cool Fayetteville. Very underrated college town. Very underrated.
Never been.
Man, never been. Awesome. I went there. Kind of gave me the Athens, a little bit of Athens vibe.
Okay.
Downtown, it's hilly. Should be right there at the Ozarks, kind of, but very, very underrated. So, Jake, look, man, I appreciate you joining tonight, and I look forward. You and I will be at Hotel Indigo on Friday night. We got a full weekend. Me and you, I feel like we're on concert tour this weekend, but we're going to start Friday night at Hotel Indigo. Can't wait to see everybody. You'll be there with me, and I'm sure as we have a few beverages, the stories will get better. So we'll see you on Friday night, my man.
Pure caffeine, dude. I'm ready.
Appreciate it, Jake. All right, guys, checking back in here again. Dawg Talk Live tonight, presented by Hotel Indigo in Athens. I went by Hotel Indigo last week. When I first did this deal with Hotel Indigo, we had some reads, we had this, we had that. I said, guys, let me do what I do. Let me do what I do, and let me go over there and see this place again. And I went by, saw Brian, general manager, met everybody there. It's packed. It's going to be popping this weekend. But again, it's not just game weekend. This is a place to stay in Athens. So I do appreciate those guys, and we'll have a lot after this weekend, a lot more content list getting over there. We're going to get into some questions and stuff. Yeah, correct. This is not the order of games. This is just who they'll play. So Georgia's not going to Texas A&M. Somebody put on the dog walk, hey, let's just rent a house. They're going to play Texas A&M back to back. Let's just get a house out there for a week. Not how that works. You'll find out the schedule of these games in December. I would feel like the Florida game will always still be Halloween weekend. So, you can always kind of book around that. People people set their calendar for that Georgia-Florida game and kind of how that is. Interesting is in Atlanta next year. Again, reminder, they're doing the stadium renovations in Jacksonville, so you'll see those things. My man Jake Roos checking in. The guys, a good couple things. You guys just check in. Let me know where you're from. It's awesome when you do that. And again, I appreciate everybody being over here for this Dawg Talk Live with me every week. It's been fun doing it. I have a lot of response from it. We're going to keep doing it. We're going to get into this Alabama game. And, Georgia coming off a bye week. I heard Georgia had a great week of practice, got after it this week, got after it last week. Players had some time off. Saw Kirby Smart Friday night at Blessed Trinity. Had his son with him. I saw Chidera Uzo-Deribe, the outside linebacker coach, was there. They were there to see 5-star DJ Jacobs from Blessed Trinity High School. Everybody kind of that follows it day to day understands that is David Jacobs, former Georgia player. That's his son. He's as good as advertised. He's a top 10 player in America. No matter where you kind of look at, he's going to end up there. Kirby was there for 3 quarters, and he stood on that sideline and paid attention. And that was a big, I think, kind of a big statement there. My man there, Brad Bush from Harris County, Hunters Pub. Never forget going to cover Jordan Jenkins down in Harris County in the 2012 class, number 1 player in the state of Georgia. And I asked his dad, where should I go eat? He goes, a little place called Hunters Pub. I said, Hunters Pub? Man, one of the sneakiest, best restaurants in West Georgia. Unbelievable steak. Never believe it when you get down there. So, guys, get your questions up. We'll get them on the screen. But I'm going to talk a little bit. I'm going to talk some keys to the game this week, kind of get into this Alabama game a little bit, and then I'll get into your questions. So, again, we talked about the schedule. That's up on DawgsHQ. All the stuff's up, kind of the thoughts there. Jake joined us there. One last thing there from Scott Anderson too. I heard Kirby still going after the BC kid in Savannah. Yes, the Damian Guyton Kirby, although he did not play Friday night. He was in Atlanta playing Westminster. Benedictine was in Atlanta. Kirby went down. Weird deal. They landed the helicopter in the middle of the field about 2.5 hours before the game. I guess that's the only place they could land there. Kirby went by, made sure that young man saw him there. So LaDamian Guyton's the other edge player in Georgia. There's a bunch of them, but some consider him number 1 player in the class next year. Verbally committed to Texas Tech. That's not over by any means. I was in Savannah last week. That one is not over. And I think everybody kind of understands that. Let's get into the Alabama talk, and I'll get to some of you guys' questions. I appreciate everybody checking in and getting some stuff up. Alabama, I mean, you don't have to say much, guys. I have not shied away from it. Kirby Smart's 1-6 versus Alabama, and they've lost tough games. They've lost heartbreakers. I told the story. I was standing there on the field in the national championship game. I was in that end zone. I took, for work purposes, I took a picture of them catching that pass, and I had to turn it in like I was working. As soon as I got that picture downloaded on the field and sent in to who I was working for at the time, I turned around and looked and saw Nick and Sony, and man, it broke my heart to look at those 2 guys like that. And it kind of put me in a, like I knew those 2 kids. I knew that what they came back for. I knew they were that close. Everybody's seen the picture, but when you see that confetti falling on Nick and Sony, it was tough to see. And I just kind of turned around and said, "That's it, man. I'm going back upstairs. I'll work from there. I don't want to see that from those kids. I know how hard they work." Saying that, Georgia's lost some heartbreakers. They've lost games 41-24. They've lost games, 27-24. They've lost some games that it's been tough. But you've got to get by this one. And I don't dance around. I haven't danced around when everybody said what's the biggest game of the year, it had been Texas. It's never been Texas for me. It's not been Ole Miss. It has been Alabama. Excuse me. It's been Alabama from day one. And this is the one thing that Kirby Smart needs to check this box. He needs to win a couple in this series to get this thing flipped. Georgia, I think they've won 33 in a row at home. Have not lost a game. I think they have not lost a game since 2019. They lost a double overtime game to South Carolina in 2019. And since then, Georgia has not lost a game in Athens. It's been a hell of a place to play. I expect the crowd to be elite. I expect the crowd to be rocking and rolling. I expect the crowd to be ready to roll. That's a long tailgate. And I think every Georgia fan understands, what's at stake here. The season's not on the line. It's not. You can lose this game and everything is still there. It's perception. It's this series in particular. And you don't have to tell a Georgia fan that. Look at Ty Simpson. I think Ty Simpson is a guy that has gotten better. Now they haven't, they've played a couple teams, and I think Wisconsin's not really good at all. But they are a Power 4 team, and they got better. They were at home. I think he's an accurate passer. I think he's not a statue. This will be a game on the road for him, and how does he react? Gunner has been on the road. Gunner's been in this environment, and even at night it ramps up. Even at night, this thing ramps up. Neighbor says, hope we can find a pass rush. They're going to have to dial some things up. The crowd can affect, offensively, their momentum and those types of things. So, I think you're going to see a better defensive performance. I think they're going to have some things they're going to do defensively. They've had 2 weeks. Historically, Georgia has usually brought out a different defensive package. Excuse me. Georgia's brought out a different defensive package, and they've got a sample size of some of the things that worked and some of they hadn't. So I'll be interested to see how they attack Alabama, especially on third down, pass pressures, because, they've done that cross dog. I talked about that cross dog linebacker blitz, some of those things, and it just didn't work against Tennessee. Excuse me, I have a drink of Coke. And, it just didn't work. They weren't able to get home. And Joey Aguilar got rid of the ball really quickly, and some of those things, they're going to have to get some pressure on him, and we'll see. It's a big test for him, but I've been impressed, man. Other than the Florida State game, which, they got the tail whipped. How do they rebound from this? Alabama's got to win this game too. Alabama loses this game, they have the door is shutting on a playoff appearance for them. They're not completely out, but boy, they would be stacked against it. Yeah, man. Appreciate you, Fred. Feeling a lot better. I was rough Sunday, man. So everybody that was on there, I'm sorry. I was in rough shape Sunday night. Felt a lot better. With this game, some of the keys, I think, can Georgia listen. You don't have to be somebody that has their own show. You don't have to be somebody that's a co-owner of a site. Georgia's defensive backs are going to get tested. They're going to get tested Saturday. And, you look at Ryan Williams, you look at Jeremy Bernard, Isaiah Horton. They've got a really good wide receiver group. And I think their wide receivers are better than their running backs and their tight end package. They're gonna throw the ball deep. They're gonna test Georgia's DBs. So can Georgia, make those plays? Man, should have brought water up here. Can Georgia make those plays? And I'm gonna get a water delivered if y'all don't mind. I'm gonna go live. Jake, you want to step in for a second? Cover me. I'm gonna get a water. I'm about to have a.
Yeah, these kind of things happen, don't they? Just get a little bit of air under your breath there. But no, I mean, sitting here listening to you talk about this Alabama game, man, one of the things Alabama has not done this year, right, that they haven't done that I think might surprise some people, they have not pushed the ball vertically. I was looking at some PFF numbers earlier today, and the downfield attempts, and not saying that they're not going to come, right? I mean, Rusty's right, 100%. Alabama's about to throw the football downfield because they saw what Tennessee did in terms of throwing the ball downfield. Now, I would like to point out that we're talking about 2 throws here. We're talking about 2 throws, one where Georgia busted a coverage and another one where the defensive back was in a great spot and just couldn't make the play. I essentially tipped the ball back into him, into the receiver's hands. But when you look at kind of what Alabama has done in terms of throwing the football down the field, Ty Simpson's got 9 attempts beyond 20 yards in 3 games. Now, he's done it fairly effectively. But the one thing I keep pointing to, when I look at this game, Rusty, listen, I know Alabama has looked great the past 2 weeks, but I don't know. I mean, it's almost like Alabama's almost getting more credit for bouncing back and playing well against ULM and Wisconsin after getting beat on the road than Georgia is actually winning a big game on the road. It's almost like that Austin Peay game is sitting right there in the middle as the biggest determining factor in some of these models and stuff we're seeing. I mean, listen, I love those college football nerds guys. They're the best dudes ever. Their model has Alabama winning this thing 50-30.
Yeah.
I don't know what the computer models are really thinking here, but Alabama's perfectly capable of winning this game. But I've said it all week, and I feel a little bit better about it today. I like Georgia in this game. I really do, and that's coming as somebody who I picked Georgia to lose to Auburn this year. I think you picked the same thing in your preseason predictions. But I'll hand it back to you here. But that's just kind of the way.
Thank you for saving me there for a minute, boy. I got a scratchy throat there, and I can feel it coming on. Appreciate you jumping in there, Jake. And guys, I mean, obviously y'all know that Jake Rowe is. He is my partner at DawgsHQ, and wouldn't do this without him. So appreciate you staying in there. I had to get some H2O there, man. I felt like dry throat coming on. But I did pick Georgia. I'm staying with Georgia on this. I think this is going to be a 3-point game. I think it's going to be a tight game. I predicted it, I think, 27-24. To me, I want to see him get Zachariah Branch more involved. I think he's the guy. I think Zachariah Branch is the guy that can hurt you, can stretch you. I said that before they played Tennessee. He's the one guy I would be worried about. I'm interested in London Humphreys. Man, London Humphreys, what a play he made. In my preseason prediction, you see KJ Bolden there. In my preseason prediction, I predicted KJ Bolden to have an interception or a turnover late in the game to seal it. It's about time for KJ Bolden to have one of his signature moments. I think KJ Bolden might wind up doing this weekend, but Zachariah Branch is the guy that I think can actually do that. And you look at Zachariah Branch, and he's the guy that I think he's the guy for me. You got to find ways to be creative. Mike Bobo's got to be more. I don't mind getting, you do some of those things with Dylan Bell, and I still think Dylan Bell helps you. I think you have one of the most underrated third downs there late in the game where he put his foot in the ground and got a first down late in that game. But when you look at Zachariah Branch, these teams are so good now punting the ball. You don't get a chance to return many. So, I would find ways to get him the ball. And yeah, Fred, that's my comment, man. You want a guy that can just out athlete you. You can do everything right. Sometimes, you're just too much of an athlete to deal with, and you can't do anything about it. And I feel like Zachariah Branch is that guy. Run game. I felt like Georgia ran the ball better. Chauncey Bowens is a guy. They're going to have run game. They're going to have run game. Nate Frazier, I thought that late run from him, he had a little juice to him. I thought that run late in the game against Tennessee showed me a different gear on him. You look at Dwight Phillips Jr., I expect him to play. He's a guy that can give you some speed there. Not the biggest dude, but he hits the hole hard. You go to Stockton. You know what I mean? How does he build off the Tennessee? Because the run game has got to be important. You have to. And I think, does Georgia have some weaknesses? Yes, they do. I think, to me, I want to see Georgia's skill players against Alabama's linebackers. And when you look at Gunnar Stockton, and you have to account for him, can he hurt you in that run game? And, he's tough. And, can he out-athlete some of those linebackers? I think Florida State hurt Alabama's linebackers, especially in space. Now, Gunnar Stockton is not Thomas Castellanos, who is a super freak athlete. That guy can freaking roll. But Gunnar Stockton's got enough run game to him that can stress you out, especially the zone read. No saying, they're going to have to account for him. So I'm interested in the run game this weekend with Gunnar Stockton and what they do with him. Wyatt Field in there says, I believe Chris Cole could have a monster game on Saturday. It's time. You know what I mean? I feel like Chris Cole, it's time. You know what I mean? He's not a freshman anymore. Justin Williams isn't a freshman anymore. These guys have got to contribute. They were 5 stars out of high school. They've looked apart. They've played pretty good. It's time for some of those guys to step up and make some plays. So, go Dogs from Biloxi, Mississippi. And I've been had a good night at Beau Rivage one time. Didn't have a good day the next day, but had a real good night at Beau Rivage. Won some money there one time. Reading some of you guys' comments there. We'll pop some of those up on the screen right here for y'all. But, everybody's got to play their role this week. I mean, young pups or not, got to count on it. And you look, need some young pups. Listen, they're going to play Warren Gaston at some point. Dontrell Glover's a true freshman offensive lineman. He's going to play at some point. I'm wondering if guys like Talon, I'm wondering who kind of made a move during the bye week. Somebody always makes a move. Was it Talon Taylor? Is it CJ Wiley? One of those guys that they kind of make a move during the bye week. So could be, Tyler Stanfield said Elijah Griffin breakout game. Boy, that'd be great news, man. And I do think that Elijah Griffin is going to have. I think he's going to have more snaps this week. I think he's, it's and it's going to be cooler at night. I think they're calling for maybe a little bit of rain in the morning, nothing at night. Shouldn't hurt any tailgates or anything like that. But it's definitely going to be a temperature drop during the day. So, it shouldn't be anything Saturday. It shouldn't be anything Saturday night to keep you, wear you out. You should be able to get a lot of snaps in, especially with those bigger guys. And you can control, and you have the crowd there to help you. Bubby Dean. Hey, Bubby, how you doing, buddy? Does Hughley start at right tackle, Bo Hughley? That's a question that's going to be answered. I think he's going to have a really good shot. Jake Rowe said that he feels like he's got a really good chance to seize that after kind of the momentum. And this is what I've said. I give you both sides of Bo. Bo's a dancing bear now. He can stand in front of you. And I think he played really freaking good when his team needed him in the fourth quarter. Really good. But, he's not right now, I would say he's not the most forceful run blocker. He's got to work on coming off the ball a bit more in the run game. And, you're going to play right tackle at SEC. You got to have that too. So, but look, man, Bo Hughley has every opportunity and has had every opportunity to kind of seize that right now, especially with Ernest Green being banged up and those types of things too. Dragging the line 49, Kobe Young. Kobe Young has been – I looked at that. Kobe Young's got 13 catches for 179 yards. Zachariah Branch has 11 catches for 181 yards and 2 touchdowns. Here's the interesting thing. London Humphreys has 8 catches, 2 touchdowns. You know what I mean? So kind of got to find a way for those guys. Is this the week the tight ends? Does Oscar Delp, does he have one of those games? He had one against Texas last year, 2 touchdowns against Texas. So Georgia's got pieces, guys. Georgia can win this football game, and I think Georgia's going to win this football game. They got to do it Saturday night. They got to get this. They got to erase this whatever's going on with the 1-6. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean, and it wouldn't shock me at all to see Georgia play Alabama again at all down the line, and I really believe that. So, but Saturday night in this stadium, this crowd, place is going to be freaking bonkers, man. I like the Rusty. Next time you're in Harris County, my family owns the Luke Pub and Steakhouse. I got y'all. Don't threaten Jake Rowe twice. We'll be heading down 27. So thank you for saying that. Next time I'm in there too. Noah Thomas. I trust my sources, guys. I trust my sources. And like Gunner, I said this. Gunner had a great fall camp. He needed to do it on a Saturday. He had a good game against Tennessee, and he delivered when his team needed him. Noah Thomas had a hell of a fall camp. He had a hell of a fall camp. it's got to translate to Saturdays, and it needs to start this week. I mean, this guy was texting him. I think he's their leading wide receiver. He's 6'6". I mean, got to get him involved. He's got to be a piece of it. And I think if they get Noah Thomas involved, boy, they are damn sure gonna be good there. I like the wide receiver group, man. I really do. I think their young guys are good. I think Georgia's as deep as they have been in a long time, man, at wide receiver. I really do. So, let's get a few more comments in here. If you guys got a few more questions in here. Again, Hotel Indigo in Athens, Friday night, DawgsHQ. Myself and Jake Rowe will be there. I think they have live music up in from like 4:30 to 7. As soon as live music's over, me and Jake will be in there. Promise you, we'll be in there long before 7 and meeting people, talking to everybody. Look forward to all that. But we'll go on around 7:15 on the patio. We'll do probably a full hour. Visit indigoathens.com, guys. I didn't even talk to them tonight. I don't know if they've got packages left for Alabama. I know they got packages left for Ole Miss. I know they have a few packages left for Ole Miss. If you want to get that package, that's 2 nights, 2 tickets, 2 nights dinner. Place is unbelievable, guys. Go one time, just go once, and even just walk through the lobby, and you'll understand what the fuss is about Hotel Indigo. Can't wait to see everybody there. What's the name of a recruit that's coming this weekend that will be a big surprise? Oh man, well, that's DawgsHQ stuff. But we'll have some names, and how do we handle those? A lot of times, kids don't want anything out until they get there. You know, it's like Travis Hunter a couple of years ago. You know, we knew Travis Hunter was coming, but Travis Hunter didn't want it out until he got to the stadium. So I mean, they didn't get him, but it was a big deal to have him there. I had him there a couple of times. That one got closer than people thought, but at the end of the day, you know, he went to Colorado. But things like that, my stance and policy on that has been, you know, you don't put it out. If the kid doesn't want it out until he gets to the stadium, you don't put it out until he gets to the stadium. But DawgsHQ, I have you covered with all of that. You know, a couple things, you know, who needs to have a big game this week? I think the pass rush needs to have a big game. I don't care who it is. Somebody wins some one-on-ones. Somebody creates some negative plays. Kirby Smart used to call it, you know, creating havoc. Create some havoc. I want the offensive line, whoever they have in there, for that 5. Tyler Rivers is making the 7.5-hour trip from Tennessee. He must be on the west side. I would imagine probably toward the Memphis side there. You know, I want the offensive line to take a game over against Alabama. Take one over. And I said it a million times. When Georgia went down in Indianapolis, Stetson Bennett took that game over. He was 8 for 8 on 2 drives with 2 touchdowns. They were behind in the fourth quarter. And that's why I always say it. I mean, you ask me about great players, some of the great players all the time. Stetson Bennett was the best when you needed him. And everybody around him played great. But you know, take a game over. Physically, dang, I sound like Kirby there. Physically take one over, man. I'm talking about pound somebody in the fourth quarter and just take a game over, an 80-yard drive to close this thing out and finish the team off. Georgia needs to win this game, period. No dancing around. 1-6. This is the only thing that Kirby Smart, as a head coach, kind of has against him right now is that Alabama game. And, you know, and it's not going to erase 6 losses, but a win against DeBoer in this second game, first time in Athens. I expect, look, man, I know you Georgia fans. I got buddies that are going Thursday night that normally don't go till Saturday. They're going Thursday night. It's gonna be rocking and rolling. Courtney Kraft says he thinks Georgia's going to drop 45 on Bama. It may take 45. It took 44 to beat Tennessee. I don't know if it's going to get in that kind of a shootout, but yeah, I agree. I think Tyler Simpson's a really good passer. I think he is. I think Tyler Simpson's a really good passer. He's on the road, and how does he handle if they're behind? We found out about Gunnar Stockton. Georgia was down 21-7 on the road, hostile environment, loud as you can imagine, and he was able to pull that out. So Let's get 2 more minutes. Dalen Everett, corner blitz. I would imagine seeing all that. A lot of things with Georgia, they play so much man to man. They're never changing that. That's who they are. They're going to play man to man. If you're going to play corner at Georgia, they're gonna play man to man. And Dalen Everett has gotten better. Dalen has been really good on deep ball. He's just to be picky a little bit. He's given up a little bit underneath, but he's damn good deep ball. QB2. Cornerback 2 over there. I still think it's Daniel Harris this week. They're going to get tested, and they'll get tested early. If they stop a couple of those early, that'll do a lot for the confidence with Georgia defensively. But again, can't stress it enough, man. The crowd can be hell on wheels. John Gruden told the Dogs coach of players dream about winning a Sanford Safety job and turn their dreams into night. I saw that. That was a great quote from Gruden. They said he was great. Everybody I talked to said John Gruden was great, great speaker. George has to play with a lead, jump on them early. Defense can feed off the crowd after getting the quarterback. After the quarterback, go Dogs. It'd be great to start off with a lead. Georgia, it feels like every time Georgia plays Bama, they're behind. Hell, last year it was 28-0 before you could blink an eye. It was 28-0. So, it's one of those. Like a fast start would be great. You have 2 weeks too. You can do some wrinkles. You can do some things that you kind of, what you expect and how you expect. Scripted plays early. Be interested to see how Georgia, what they come out with. Scripted play early on, and see if they can jump on Bama. What you look for here, I said it the other night, it's a little different package than Jalen Milroe. 2023 SEC championship game, Georgia set back in zone, and they let Jalen Milroe dink and dunk him, and he made a couple throws that he didn't make all year. Well, Georgia sit on that all year, and they came after him, and he hurt him with his legs and making some plays in that first game. So then they came back and played mostly what they did in 2023, and that worked the rest of the game. So be interested to see how they attack Ty Simpson and what they're going to do there. Let's go one more. Let's go about 1 more minute, guys. Again, Hotel Indigo, thank you so much. Dog Talk Live being our presenting sponsor of Dog Talk Live. You go by and see those guys. We will be there Friday night. Come by and see me and Jake. It's going to be fun. Spend an hour, talk, tell some stories. We'll break down the game. We'll be sitting right out there. We'll be right there. That's a great view. Got a new PA system. It's going to be fun, man. Will Hawkins or W. Hawkins says Georgia's DB is scared to hit. I don't know if they're scared to hit. I don't think you can be scared to hit and start at Georgia. It's ball skills. It's making a play on the ball. You know what I mean? When the ball's in the air that long, you got to make a play. And so that's the one thing. But guys, it's Alabama week. We got so much coming with you, DawgsHQ. I'm working on a visitor list right now. Steve Wilfong put one up on DawgsHQ earlier. I'm working on a visitor list for in the morning, add some names there. We've got shows. We've got appearances. It's Georgia and Alabama. I can't say anything else about it anymore, but we will see you Friday night in person, man. Everybody be safe getting to town, and come by and see me and Jake Rowe, and we'll have a beverage and we'll talk about some things at Hotel Indigo Friday night. Once you come one time, you're going to thank me. Tell them that the DawgsHQ Rusty sent you by. But thank you for letting me hang in there tonight, guys, and got a dry throat. Appreciate you hanging with me. My guy Jake Rowe jumping in. Guys, it's Georgia Bama week. Y'all be safe, be careful. We'll see y'all later this week.